Welcome to the Med Spa Method. I'm your host, Leslie Schweitzer. I'm a doctorate-prepared nurse anesthetist. I started my own medical spa in 2022 called Lush Aesthetic Bar. Over the past 4 years, the spa has been through a couple of transitions, and it's now called Lush Aesthetics and Wellness. These episodes are your guide to med spa treatments and wellness. Many of the episodes are just me talking about something I'm passionate about, but along the way, I will feature some guests that will bring value to the podcast. Thanks so much for being here. Let's get into it. Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Med Spa Method. I'm Leslie, and I'm here with my friend Renee for a special discussion with you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. Like Leslie said, my name's Renee. As far as my background goes, I started my career as a physical therapist. Then I got a degree, a master's in business, and started managing physical therapy clinics. But my first degree was in psychology, so I feel like I did a full circle because the passion brought me to mental health, and I started doing story work, and then got certified in what I'm doing now, which is narrative-informed trauma care. And trauma care is basically somebody gets harmed, and it's helpful to have healing. And we all have stories, of harm. So it's just a way to understand our lives, like what happened in the past causes what we're doing today, and maybe a way to break that pattern a little bit, or just find a way back to where we were supposed to go to begin with.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it is.
Okay. And that's why I wanted to bring you on as a guest, is because in the med spa, it's pretty often that I'll have somebody in my chair for the first time. Or sometimes after a couple treatments, and I'll say, like, what are your goals, and I hand them the mirror, and I'm expecting people to say to me, like, my under eyes bother me, or, this scar bothers me, or my wrinkles make me look old. And sometimes it quickly turns into I haven't been able to take care of my skin for 20 years because I was focused on raising a family. Or, I had not ever spent money on myself because my husband always made me feel like I couldn't, and we're divorced now, so I'm going to spend money on myself. Oftentimes it's just like this is something that I've wanted to do for myself for a long time, and I'm finally here, and here's the backstory. And as the provider, I'm like, that's great. I'm happy to take care of your wrinkles. I can do that. But I often find myself stuck. I don't have the words to guide them or to show them that kind of care that they need, that type of trauma care. And I'm not expecting you to train me today in how to do it, but I still think that we should talk through what those emotions are like for me as the provider, for the patient in my chair, and just for people as a whole, to give ourselves a little bit of grace when we've made a mistake or feeling like we want to turn back the clock and make a change in our life somewhere.
Sure, and I imagine when they look in the mirror, I imagine they're here for a reason and they're not liking what they see.
Yeah, that's pretty often.
Yeah, then that provides a little bit of self-hate, maybe. That's putting it mildly, I guess. But what I will say is that what you're telling me is that these women that come to you are opening up to you.
Yeah.
Which means they trust you. And to me, that's a beautiful thing. And that's all that matters at this point. What they say to you is all that matters. And how you hold that is all that matters. There's nothing you have to do for them. So the first step, I would say, is you accepting that and loving them right where they're at.
Yeah. Loving them right where they're at is what I've been able to offer them. That's great. I'm so glad that you're here. If every time you look in the mirror, you see those wrinkles and you realize that you weren't able to take care of yourself for 20 years because you've been taking care of your kids, I can take some of that away from you. I could do a little Botox. We can do some skincare or whatever treatment it is. And I can help so that when you look in the mirror, you see somebody who's also taken care of.
Yeah.
Love them in that moment. And sometimes it's like, well, it's okay that you have wrinkles and that you spent that time taking care of your family, and I can praise them for that. But sometimes it's a little bit more harmful, in those, I had an abusive husband or whatever.
So they're starting to tell you a story
Yeah.
a little bit. And that's a lot for you. I bet.
Yeah, it is. It's something that I'm not trained to deal with. So the best I can offer them is just like, I love you for coming to me, and I want to treat what you came to me for, and I want to support you. But
yeah, and you're allowing them space to say things.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I will tell you, people that come to me, they need a space to be able to say things and open up, and naming what's going on is half of the healing.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
well, it's good to hear.
That's huge. Yeah. The other thing is too, just to say, is that our aging, we don't have a cure for that necessarily. Like, so how to accept a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah.
And
I do say often, like, we can't stop the clock. The aging is going to keep happening. The best we can do is like take care of ourselves, so we can do the things to prevent, aging to be happening too quickly. And we can heal some things. We can heal some old wrinkles. We can, we can treat some scars and reduce those things,
Yeah.
I'm not a surgeon, so I can't surgically remove things. And I'm not trying to. Darn it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a surgeon. I'm just trying to help them, trying to help slow the aging process, I guess, most of the time. So,
have you noticed any people that come back, any change in how they speak to you after?
What happens is, like, not to liken it to take away from hairstylists, but you know how you get used to how somebody cuts your hair and you have that rapport with them, and like you kind of pick up where your conversations end. It's very similar to that, because I see a lot of my patients every 3 months or sometimes every month, depending on what they're coming for. And so we sometimes just pick right up where they've left. And it's nice to hear people say, like, that they're walking out of something bad and something better is happening.
That's a good place to find yourself.
And oftentimes that's the story that's being told to me. Like, I'm finally able to start doing the things that I need to do for myself. So in that sense, it's empowering.
Definitely.
So
you do see change in them.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody that is feeling a lot of regret over, like, things that have happened in the past, things you can't change, Can't change that you married that person and it didn't work out. Can't change that you've bought that house and you shouldn't have, or sold that house and you shouldn't have, or didn't finish college or whatever. What do you say to people when they can't undo something they did?
That's a hard question. That requires a lot of understanding, I think. And I think they should be allowed to say that and not try to get them out of it. Let them feel that regret. Maybe ask how that feels for them to be carrying that weight.
Yeah. So simply just saying it's okay to admit that didn't work out for you.
Yeah. Tell me how, depending on the time you have, tell me how hard that was for you. Tell me about your regret. Tell me more. I'm curious about that. And just see what comes from there, because they're probably sorting it out inside and giving them airspace, and it comes out verbally. You're allowed, they can see it better, I think. But there's no need at all to move them anywhere else. Being positive, oh, it's okay, look how you are now. Trying to talk them up, not necessary. Usually not helpful. Because when people get to be in certain places, like you were talking about emotions earlier, or prior to this, and that what kind of, you can talk about that. Well, how does that make you feel to know that you regret all that? Like, emotions matter, and they're kind of sorting out or trying to feel something there. So,
yeah.
And that's not your realm, but if you, just the idea though, in a general sense of,
even just being told though, like, well, you shouldn't say to them, you look great the way you are, or giving some surface type compliment like that, isn't the way to go.
It isn't helpful.
It's not helpful.
Yeah.
So if it's not helpful, then, just a different phrase to have in my pocket for when I am told something that's heavy, just a way to respond to that that's caring and appropriate for my background is helpful.
Yeah. Good.
So
Glad to hear that.
Good. So I had asked you to bring a few books.
Yes, you have.
So
It kind of goes with what we're talking about, because this really is about healing. I probably would recommend for the people that you see in general, from what you're telling me, is this book called Women Who Run with the Wolves. And it's contacting the power of the wild woman. And it basically is the idea that we all have hidden and buried in us a wild, creative woman that we have has been tamped down basically by culture and by generations. And it's our creative side. It's the beautiful side of us, the side we wish we could share, but we're afraid to, that kind of thing. And so this book has just a way to find that again and a way to let it out. And after reading this book, and I think people would feel like they belong more, and that the idea of how powerful and how beautiful women are, because we are like the beautiful part, the beautiful sex.
Yeah. Yeah, I love hearing that.
So, yeah, why not try to figure that out? If you're not feeling beautiful, it's inside. And let's, find it in you, and then it'll show. Maybe read this, look in the mirror, then read this book, and then look in the mirror again and see what you see.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. So that one is for making yourself feel more powerful, feeling empowered.
Yeah, and beautiful. And just finding who you are, finding your wild, because everyone's wild is different. Yeah.
Awesome. I like that. What are some of the other ones you brought?
Kate Bowler is one of my favorite authors, and this one is called No Cure for Being Human. So it basically is, and other truths I need to hear. It's a kind way. It's a way of understanding our humanity and how much we try to be positive, to do the work. It's basically throw away your self-help stuff and just gain an understanding of what life is really about, and that we are all human, that we all, we all make mistakes. Of course, that's obvious, but just to allow yourself to make mistakes.
Like, does it teach you how to give yourself some grace?
Yes, and to let go of things that you're holding on over time. For example, the people that regret what happened in the past. I mean, I will just say, for regret, the bottom line is, at the time, you made the best choice. It's different now, but back then, you made the best choice. I don't know.
The example I gave of buying and selling the house, I mean, that's me. I did that. I sold a house that I wish I wouldn't have sold, and then I bought a house I wish I wouldn't have bought. And my husband and I have that conversation often, man, we wish we would have sold that house. We still would have sold the house. It just wasn't the right time to do it. And then we ended up buying a house that we didn't love and didn't work for us, and we ended up moving right back out of it anyways, and we just regret that whole messy year that it took to sort that out. And we both have to remind each other when we talk about them that at the time we thought we were doing what was right.
So you already feel that, right?
Yeah, we feel it.
You agree with that.
Yeah.
But you still might fall into it.
Yeah. You still circle back to
that's the human part.
Yeah. You still circle back to it. And it's funny, we became real good friends with the people who bought the house that we regret selling. And so we go back to the house. So it's like every time we go hang out with them, we have that conversation again, between ourselves.
Yeah.
Put that on.
Sure.
But, that man, we sold this house at the wrong time, we weren't ready to move out of the house. We would have at some point anyways, but we weren't ready. We did it wrong.
And do you offer yourselves grace?
Now we're doing it. Maybe we should read that book.
Yes.
We've been saying that phrase, though, that just the way you said it was exactly how we say to each other. At the time, we thought we were doing what was honest.
Yes.
And it's the best we could do with what we
Yes, and it's so true. I mean, all in all, in every situation.
Yeah.
Because you don't know all the other things that were involved in your decision.
Yeah.
There were a lot, probably.
Yeah, there was a lot, So on the surface, it sounds kind of silly. We had twins, and we thought we'd only have 2 kids total, but we had 3, and that house didn't have enough bedrooms. So we're like, we got to sell the house. Like, we never thought about, like, could you put an addition on the house? Could you just make your kids share a bedroom? It's not that big a deal, but we thought, like, no, we definitely need a, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sell that house. So it's okay. And we're gonna give ourselves some grace. But that was my example.
Good.
That one was me in that.
That's a good example.
Yeah. What other books have you read?
The other one is another Kate Fowler, Everything Happens for a Reason and Other Lies I've Loved. And so this is the idea of the toxic positivity thing. You know, just, oh, it's okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to work out. Everything happens for a reason. Just pray more. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. But everything isn't always fine. Shit happens, life happens, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And so I think that understanding, and it's hard.
Yeah.
When things are hard and when maybe a diagnosis comes down that's really scary on top of you. And you have to say, and people have to say, you'll get through it, you'll be fine. You know, that's our tendency when we come around people, is to try to make them feel better. And at the moment,
it's not helpful.
Yeah, it's probably a lie, because this sucks big time. You know, so it's of course it's not just one page that you just say that. There's other lies that we've been told in the book. So it's intriguing. She's a kind woman. And when you're done reading the book, you feel more kindness towards yourself.
I like that. Yeah. Especially in the face of, like, a regret situation where you feel like, I feel regret over what I did there, or regret over how that ended. You know, giving yourself some grace, some extra self-love. I like that.
Yeah. And we can't control everything.
Yeah.
So even like with a regret, what tends to happen, if you think about that, I regret that I did that. That means you take responsibility for everything that happened. It's all your fault, and you better do it better next time. But this is more like, no, you don't always have control over what happens.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do then? Who are you going to blame? Yeah. Maybe nobody.
Yeah.
Maybe life just happens. So
exactly what happens when there's nobody to blame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We usually blame ourselves because it's easier. Then we get to do something about it. Then we get more control.
Yeah.
We're all about control, us humans.
We are. I get that. Yeah. Those sound like good books.
And then I just have one last one. It's called Belonging. This is a very dreamy book, like an imagination book. And it's belonging, remembering ourselves home. And it's about the idea that in human nature, our biggest fear, and our biggest fear is that we don't belong, that we're cast out and that we're rejected. And our biggest desire deep, deep down, if we let ourselves believe, is that we want to belong. And this book is about how that belonging isn't necessarily a place, but it's actually a skill. And so you learn to belong by first belonging with yourself. And so it's all about the inner parts of you that you don't allow because you don't want them out, and then they don't belong. So it's about helping yourself belong inward so that you just show up like, I belong.
Yeah.
It's a connectedness thing. So I loved it. I love each one of these books. They're very fun.
Yeah. They all sound very intriguing. If there's an audio version of them, I could do that.
Oh, yeah, there is, I'm sure.
I'm sure there is. I have trouble personally just sitting still and reading a book these days because my kids are in the little phase.
Imagine.
So when they want to go to bed, I also want to go to bed because I'm tired of chasing them around all day. But I like the audio because I could listen to it while I also wash the dishes, make the next meal, drive to pick them up.
Yes.
The audio has been just a wonderful way to get reading into my life.
Oh, I love that for you.
Yeah.
I like it too. I get on the lawnmower. And then I do it.
Yeah.
I like that. But there's something about a book that I like to hold.
That too, and smell.
Yeah, and open up the pages and
make notes in it.
Yeah, and highlight like every other line so I can go back to it.
Well, sometimes I'll do that. You know, like you're reading a book or something and you'll highlight a word or underline, make a notation or whatever. And then when you want to go back to it, my mind thinks like, well, I highlighted that in yellow or I circled that word. And then it's easier for me to find, you know, and tie it back together. So I like that too about a real book. I tried a Kindle for a while and that's hard. Because you can hold something, but you can't draw on it.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
You haven't tried again.
Yeah. I've tried it twice, and I failed both times. They both just outdate, just sitting in the drawer because you can't draw on them.
Yeah. But
off they go. Yeah. So, but good. I feel like this was a wonderful discussion about.
Do you have any other questions for me? Or
I'm sure I do.
I think what I would say too, sometimes you'll know if people start talking serious, and that you're the only person, you can always suggest that they find another person that could help them too.
I could certainly have a stack of your cards and say, I don't think there's an issue saying I love you and I want to listen to you, but I'm also not qualified to give you the best, to be your best listening ear.
Yes.
So why don't I pass you to somebody?
Yes, and that's a beautiful boundary for you, and it's very honest. To them. Yeah, it's being as honest as you can. It's
similar when people come to me and say, I'd like you to fix this problem, and I have to say, I'm sorry, that's a surgical problem. So happy that you came here to talk to me about it. Let me give you some people that I would trust to do surgery on me or my loved one. It's the same thing with talking.
Yes.
Yes,
for sure.
That I should get comfortable sharing that boundary and saying, thank you for sharing with me.
Yeah.
But I'm not qualified to be your best listener.
Yeah.
So.
Do you need more care?
Yeah.
It's a scary place sometimes to hop into the idea that maybe they need someone to care for them in that way. Because it has a little bit of a, what's the word? Like if I need care for my mental health or my emotions, then there's something wrong with me.
Yeah. Then there's some negativeness to that as well. And, I've felt that way too in my life and had to seek out somebody to listen to me and give me sound advice. And it's a huge step for somebody to take.
Well, you did. You came to me once.
I did. It was so empowering, though.
Was it scary too?
It was scary to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that you were a counselor of a sort, and I knew you.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I need to sit with somebody and just get some sound advice. But it was scary to say that, say, I need someone to professionally weigh in on my life. That's hard.
Yeah, and to tell, you did know me, but some people will be strangers. So to tell strangers your story can be really scary. I had to jump into that myself. I see a counselor. I have been seeing one for 10 years. And now she's like my person. Yeah. I love her. So
I think once you get over that idea in your head that it's negative, and you realize the positive that comes out of it, and that it's actually mentally healthy, a sign of health, that you can speak these things out loud and that you can seek help for them, and you don't just let them fester and shove them down quietly. That's actually a sign of health.
Yes, a sign of strength, too, to know that you need care that way. And maybe it isn't in your life right now. Maybe there aren't people that listen in your life. Maybe everyone's just talking at you. Telling you what to do, how to fix.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need that.
And my experience, at least with you, was that it's not a fix situation. I came thinking we're going to sit down and find this problem. We're going to find the answers today. And that's not what it really is. It's not a problem solving session. It's a let's talk this out and figure out where this is, what thoughts I need to work on here, what I need to process for it. So.
Yes.
So it takes more time than.
Yes.
It's not a problem-solving session.
No, definitely not.
As a very goal-driven person, that's hard for me because I want to put the problem on the list and then check off the solution. So I think that's also
the hard kind of thing. Yeah, I did this, so now that's over. Yeah. But this is your life and this is who you are. Yeah. So it is just a gentler, slower naming, being seen. It's really what it is. So
I think that's a good one to end on. So thanks so much for sticking with us.
So fun. Thanks.
This was fun.
Enjoy talking to you.
I hope you enjoyed my talk with Renee as much as I did. I've put a link to her page in the show notes so that you can check out more of what she has to offer if you want something like that or someone like that in your life. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.